Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout 3. It's been another couple of days. I'm really having trouble maintaining momentum, and in fact, it really doesn't even have much to do with the fact that Fallout is grindy. Like, we've established Fallout 3 is grindy. It's an RPG. RPGs of this era certainly are grindy, and even of the modern era are still kind of grindy, but yeah, a lot of distractions here. So in the last episode, we kidnapped a child, and now we're going to shut off Uptown's lights via this last area, this power plant, and that's going to let the trogs, I think that's what they're called, um, that's going to let them overrun the area and kill what apparently is a lot more of the slave raiders. So I'm just really making a right mess of this as far as just killing more and more people, but I kind of don't care either. Um, there is a problem, I think, that is fairly noticeable um, in just going down this hallway, is that you can just constantly click, click, click your VATs and turn VATs on. And if there's anything within, I would say, at least 180 degrees, just anything in front of you at all, the VATs will automatically lock in on it. You'll automatically know that there's somebody to shoot. Um, it really kills a lot of the potential gameplay here. We can see that there's a massive amount of bodies here, which definitely makes it feel like the Trogs are killing a lot of slaves. So, if anything, this is just more justification for potentially torturing slash killing a baby to cure the remaining slaves and free the remaining slaves. Um, I guess this is on some loose way. Maybe when this game came out, stem cell uh, research and stem cell debates really hadn't existed as much, but this is kind of the stem cell debate, um, although not really, because stem cells are either harvested from umbilical cords of babies that were born normally and thus not affected at all, or grown in a lab. There's really no medical thing where we are having to kill babies uh, to actually get some kind of chemical cure. But even if you were, it's like something that you haven't invested in, like a baby, compared to saving two adults that have been educated, know how to live on their own, are providing to society a lot more than a baby who is actually just a burden to society. And then until you've raised them up, um, if you're just going to look at it at that utilitarian value and take away the babies are cute aspect, any computer would clearly, any artificial intelligence would clearly say, yes, it is morally correct that if you have to kill one burden to society, one baby, one liability to save to. How did he get there? Uh, to save. I gotta make sure not to pick up too much garbage, too. To save two people that are actually outputting and producing something for society. Like, that's how a computer program would totally think, just inputs and outputs. A baby is all about taking in stuff, inputting, and outputting nothing really of value, except for, I guess, this cure baby outputs some unique DNA. And whereas this almost feels like a Resident Evil level, like very off from what we've been seeing up until this point. Yeah, if you told me I was playing Resident Evil 4 right now, just looking around, I would believe you, particularly if you could take out the heads-up displays. Uh, and there definitely are creatures like this that, like, this is straight up stolen from a Resident Evil game, or vice versa. Maybe Resident Evil stole it from this, but I doubt it. I guess we can take the Med-X. This might be a thing where they're gonna just constantly respawn. And I can still just hip fire. I've been calling it dry firing, but actually dry firing is when you fire without a bullet in the gun. So, yeah, I've been stupidly calling it the wrong thing. Here you have another pit slave and some first aids, which I guess it implies that if you were doing this DLC at a different time, you might have a bit more of a struggle. Some of that is believable. Yeah, because these guys are hitting pretty hard. So it definitely does feel like this is supposed to be some kind of survival experience where you really would struggle through all of this, and that these brutes would potentially really be heavy hitters. But I guess we should consider also what our damage resistance would be, because we're wearing this whole power armor. Now, I still want to run into Asher and get his power armor. That would kind of suck if we didn't do that, but it may very well be the case. And so there was a mine next to the toilet, seemingly for no reason, other than just to be silly about it. Yeah, unless there was some named special armor or weapon, that's all we can really get. Alright, let's go ahead and knock our health up. And then, yeah, what is our damage resistance right now? It is 40. If we were wearing just the Worn Slave outfit, it would go from 16 to 2. So, yeah, I could definitely see a scenario where that was a much bigger struggle. Alright. And seems like we have to go this way. Seems like it is a fairly linear path, as we've seen everywhere else. This guy's crawled back behind here. And meanwhile, there's... It's just... They're all just shimmying down the stairs here. The amount of bobby pins, though, is shockingly high. Which I think probably highlights that the bobby pins would be a very viable, easy to find item if there wasn't... If it was just in the standard pool of items you can find amongst people. that you kill, and maybe it was supposed to be amongst different enemies, and it just, through poor programming or planning, they decided they left it out. I bet they didn't even decide. I bet they totally intended for bobby pins to be a thing on the bodies of most enemies, and they just left it off the list. Couple Nuka-Colas just to remind you that Nuka-Cola exists. Frag grenades on a body. Saw that coming. Alright. The good news is it does seem like once you've shot an area full of gas, it tends to clear. Even in this scenario, though, I still don't feel like you would ever really need to use the other drugs. Like, the whole drug system really falls apart. Maybe on very high levels, it makes some sense. But I don't know why you would want to play the game on a really high difficulty level. There's just no way to reach that guy. Like, I can jump up here, but then I can't jump from that to get over it. Well, I'll be darned. So it's gonna be a nightmare. And it's not like that was scripted for that to be there. I'm almost certain that was blown. That was simply just blown over there by the explosion. We're also finding red pass cards, which I would again assume that is just another item that they've programmed in here that was supposed to be something you could collect a lot more of. You only need to find one red pass card in the entire game, so but having about 20 of them strewn about in the game would make sense. And certainly it would be nice if there was a way to trade a red pass card. Yeah, where did that guy come from? Obviously, he spawned in. Yeah, I could see trading a red pass card for some other unique items, or just selling it for a decent price. I could definitely have seen a quest where red pass card would be a way to get through an area easier. So now they're reintroducing the robots in this factory so that we can So broken terminal, just label the broken terminal. It's like we don't need experience. So one thing I would complain about these trogs though is that they do move far too fast compared to everything else. With the introduction of them, you didn't need to introduce the trogs killed that real quick. You need to introduce something that is kind of half as fast as a trog. Alright. Automatic turbines at 10.8%. I think we were down there, or if we weren't down there, we're never going to get down there. Although it does seem like you could just jump down there. I'm thinking that's what we were, though. And so I'm also thinking that yes, this way is just going to be a straight path to Uptown. So once we turn off the lights, this whole panel is going to open up. It seems like that's the way that's going to work, and that you can't get in there and pull it definitely doesn't feel like there's a second option at this point. Maybe if I hadn't killed the maybe if I hadn't killed the baby's mother, there'd be another option. See, notice how that really didn't even open. That just magically disappeared. And now we know, like, why we couldn't find a switch to this whole place. It's because they literally did not want you to be able to access it and go the reverse direction. And I guess if you needed any more reason to believe that the bad guys were bad guys, this would be once again another room to just show the insanity and the cruelty of the slave masters. I don't know if that was there before.
You down long ago. What the hell is that?
Alright. So they kept Asher alive long enough. And here we can see like this one's gonna shoot me. That one's gonna die. That one's gonna attack me, so that one's gonna die. That one's gonna attack me, so that one's gonna die. So hopefully that's not the only 3 trogs. Otherwise, I'm back to just potentially killing everybody I find. Alright, so now we've got Asher's Key, Asher's Power Armor, and maybe we leave the Recon Armor helmet. Problem here is we've got just too much weight. Let's see, pre-war bonnet, pre-war hat, pre-war spring outfit. See, blood packs, we can get rid of those. Dirty water, human flesh. So if I can just get down 5 weights, which maybe I'll just have to get rid of the Nuka-Colas. Wow. How am I overcumbered? So let's look at Asher's armor. Anyways, defense of 32. So it's much better defense rating. Plus luck, plus charisma, plus strength, -1 agility, plus 10 red resistance. The real question though see, if we get rid of Deathclaw Gauntlet, that's 10. Can drop a dinner plate. Glass pitcher, green plate. Red plate. Gets us to 25. I think we get rid of Deathclaw Gauntlet, because I don't think there's anything unique about that. I think I can craft these myself. The only way to really check that would be to see if I could find a schematic somewhere here amongst this, though, for Deathclaw Gauntlets, which, yeah, there it is. That would have definitely been easier, however, I will say, if they simply had let me. Man opener versus auto axe. If I drop the steel knuckles, that's only going to save me 1. Drop the tri-beam laser. We could drop this. We can drop that. We can drop that. We can drop that. Five of those. Or we drop the auto axe, or we drop the tri-beam laser rifle. Well, you know, it's stupid, but whatever. We'll just drop the tri-beam laser rifle. Yep. Okay. So just shoot at everybody. I should actually consider just how much bobby pins I have, because I probably have more than enough. Like, see, our quest now is to escape to Market Square, which probably just means run. Like, they don't really want me to go into the Haven entrance. I'm not sure I even really walked over to that area. And yeah, I'm just so overpowered. Let's eat bobby pins. Which one would that be under? Bobby pins, 58? Yeah, if I could get that up to 100, that'd be great. But man, they just show you this like Wicker Man and somebody being burned alive, and you just immediately are really told. Interesting. So you can't go in there, so there's not a different instance of what's happening over there with the trogs. It still seems to me like there's some level of lighting that happens. Do you have a melee button? I don't think we do. Yeah. So it still seems like the game is kind of just pointing you towards lighting. Did we ever look in here? There's nothing in there. I wouldn't be surprised if for the sequence this is also locked and you can't go through here. But apparently you can, so I don't know. Maybe a tighter, more narrow area would provide you with a easier way to cross. Somebody is shooting at me. I'm assuming that this is just going to be I'm wasting time here trying to repair an auto axe, which I already had at max anyways. That was dumb. Yeah, I assume we're not going to run into any named characters, though. That this is just going to be the remaining. Let's just watch the pathfinding and see how many of these guys decide to attack other people. They must have just killed that raider. Yeah. That did a lot of damage. So we need to rethink our weapon. Is this... We'll try the metal blaster here. Right now we have a filtration helmet with 1 damage resistance, where I think we probably have some other helmet with better. Well, gamma shield armor would actually just do more damage resistance, and I think we need that. And then damage resistance of 2 there. Damage resistance of 4 there. Yeah. Okay. I want these bobby pins, but is it really worth it to try and search all of these? Particularly since this is just going to be a nightmare pile, and I would only be able to really adjust for that if I had say, enough inventory space to then pick up everything on the trogs. That way the trogs would then be labeled empty. Alright. Just line them all up, and they all dropped as ash piles down below. Okay. This is where we want to go. Does it really look like there's much more around here? Seems like there's some trogs. They definitely have this like side side attack or side move that they do. 60 bobby pins though is more than enough. I don't know. I must have dropped that previously. And here we have a just dead pit raider. And we see the slavers. The slaves, not the slavers, walking around. So I would just assume that we are now in a situation where they are totally in control. Now the question really just comes down to, are they going to be any better, or are they just going to try and to stay in this area and enslave people and do the same old, same old? There may have been a medical facility here that just like required a key and maybe won't require a key now. Medical facility being a very loose description of what's happened. But yeah, it's probably not even really worth it to consider taking this stuff. It looks like they probably want us to just go down. That would be my guess, is that we are wrapping up this DLC. So you can hear them whispering and talking about the revolution, which has already happened. They didn't program them to say anything different.
Nice work, pal. When I saw those lights go down, I swear I heard the trogs laughing. I think I speak for all of the ex-slaves here when I say, good riddance to those bastards. May they rot in a glowing grave.
So, that leaves me as the new Lord of the Pit. That may not be a terrible idea. Of course, they need to leave, and I'm not sure you're going to really get that dialogue to say, hey, you guys need to get out of the pit. Just come live in the wastelands of the capital. It's way less toxic. At least you can have children and won't get irradiated and get the disease and turn into trogs. But I'm not sure they really thought that far ahead. And we're going to have our limited choice of dialogues, and the outcome is probably not going to be much different, even if I was to take the evil option versus the good option versus the neutral option.
Yeah, everybody's happy. Medea says she'll take care of the kid when she's not too busy with everything else. Don't worry about it. We cut a few corners on researching the brat, so we've already got something good to keep down the rads. It's on the house. But the real wealth of the city is in that steel mill. You'll have access to the ammo press in there, so go nuts. You earned it, kid.
So what do I do now? Question mark. So I freed the slaves. Why isn't everyone cheering?
It's not that easy. This is still our home, and there's still lots of work to be done. Killing Asher is just the first step. But if you want, you could keep collecting steel from the steel yard. Most folks can't handle it, and the foreman would see you get a reward. And if you really care, Medea said she's looking for toys for the brat. I guess if you find anything, you could bring them to her. But don't you worry about it. I'll be here to take care of getting the city back into shape. You just bask in the glory, huh?
Medical research from the pit has improved your life. Just try not to think about what it is it may have cost others. I don't know what this perk is, per se.
I got folks working on it 24/7. It'd go faster if they didn't keep fussing about not hurting the little squirt. Medea's the worst of them. Keeps asking people to bring the kids toys or some sort of bullcrap. You'd think an old slave like her would know how to work without raising a fuss, right? You just wait. We'll whip the pit back into shape.
So yeah, they're not leaving. And here's
Don't forget to
Millie. We
spread the
saw
word
her
about the
die.
pit. Seriously, we could use more people.
There's no way I'm getting involved in any half-assed escape.
And see, it's just the same conversations over and over again. I swear I saw some level of... Look at this guy's neck, it's all stretched. And he's dead. I put the bobby pin in him. So he didn't survive. And then there's just some people that are kind of not at their stations anymore. Do I have a full version of the tattered slave outfit? Nope. I can go ahead and take one of those and then see which one we can repair. Oh, I do have a full version of that. Let's drop that then. I just don't think I have any toys. And it's kind of unlikely. Although I do think there is a toy somewhere around here. I think it would just be a little bit too far. I think we just leave the pit and never come back. We've already collected all the steel ingots, and that was the one gimmick that kind of made some sense. It does seem like they are trying fairly hard here to not be like, there's enough people here stopping him from just dissecting the baby. And in fact, it seems like she's going to treat her as nicely as she can from the situation.
We're all indebted to you for setting us free from those bastards. You just don't know what a difference you've made. Now the rest is up to us. And I have to admit, it's pretty daunting. At least Werner's taking care of organizing the city, so I can work on the cure.
In a lot of ways, Warner and Medea are just now the Asher and the wife of Asher. I don't even remember names.
She's a handful is what she is. I mean, I'm glad she's healthy and I take care of her like she's my own, but it's a full-time job. And I hardly have any time to work on finding a cure from her. People help out here and there, but she's just such a handful.
But there's really nothing
That sure would help me
you
out.
could say.
Happier Marie is the more likely I can get a full night's sleep for once in my life.
I imagine...
She seems to really enjoy teddy bears. Creepy little things, but I guess she doesn't know any better. Bring as many as you can, and you'll get paid plenty for it. I promise. And I have a diaper
So we
to
would
change
need...
and blood samples to run.
You need teddy bears specifically, not just any toy. Which honestly, it should just be any toy. Because... Let's see. No, it seems like toys in general plus teddy bears. But yeah, they're not leaving. They're gonna try and stay. And I don't think quest-wise there's anything here. It's just straight up move on to the next one, which would be aiding the outcasts. Which I believe that is the Operation Anchorage DLC. You still have people working. Still have people in tattered slave outfits. The guy who had just kind of accepted his situation in life is not here. It was kind of interesting that this bus had been chopped in half throughout the process of doing this DLC. And I think at this point there's something around here that you can actually activate to make bullets. Isn't that what the note said? Steel Mill's ammo press is key to the military might of the Pit. It allows us to repurpose simple ammunition to more convenient calibers. All soldiers, traders, and raiders in the Pit are expected to be familiar with these. It found in the steel mill, the ammo press overlooks the whole. Load unused ammo types and raw material into the materials bin and activate the nearby ammo press terminal. Select the new ammo type. Oh. So we could find potentially a really nice collection of, yeah, now we can use this ammo press terminal. And they're gonna tell you. Okay. So where's the ammo press bin? Open materials bin. So the rest of these are all broken, basically. Okay. So we have, say, if we could get a whole bunch of, we have 64 bobby pins, that's good to know. If we could get a whole bunch of, like, shotgun shells, half of those, and we want microfusion cells and flamer fuel. You can take half of that. We'll never use a flamer. We have like a decent amount of energy cells. If we could get alien cells, you can take half of the darts. We'll never use that. You can take half of that. This is just like a massive amount of bullets. And maybe this will be just a 2-to-1 ratio. Where we're ammo station, no usable materials in the bin. What? Oh my goodness, what happened there? Did I just cancel out, or did I just turn a whole bunch of stuff? Alright, let's read the instructions a little bit better here. Use terminal to select ammo type, press ammo, retrieve nearly pressed ammo in the materials bin. That's the materials bin. Where's the other bin then? Brand was the guy that was the telltale, so I shot him. Load unused ammo types and raw material into the materials bin. Activate the available animal and ammo types. Really is just the standard ammo too, so you wouldn't really get electrical guns. So scrap metal. Alright, well, we'll try this again. Yeah, I think what I did here is I probably just canceled out. 5mm, and then exit. 5mm is there. So maybe I didn't lose any bullets. Ammo production. Yeah. So it says calculate the production rounds. It will produce over 400 rounds. I put a bunch in there. Pressing back, back, back. So I think we put like 3,000 in there and we're getting over 400 back. Yeah, we put like 3,000 in there and we got 1,139 back. So, yeah, not really worth your time. If you desperately needed a specific standard bit of ammo, not any of the special electric weapon ammo or any of the alien ammo, which really, if I could have made alien ammo, that would have been great. Let's see. Here we have this lady. I imagine there's nothing special here. It does again feel like you could have left your own equipment in the inventory footlocker there the whole time. And we're not going to actually go to the steel yard. I just want to see who the foreman is now. Nope, still seems like it would have been Everest. So if there was any more steel to capture, yep, there clearly was a point here where they should have said, don't kill the foreman and don't kill Everest and don't kill Barrett. I know they may be jerks, but they're actually pretty decent guys, or something like that. If you'd been specifically told to spare them, and you could certainly just directly say don't kill these people because they're actually spies for the liberation movement, that would be fine. Or if you actually wanted to make more of a story and have Everest actually have some kind of narrative where he did something nice later. So I think we're done. And yeah, as I estimated, there's basically nothing, no real map here, and no real map here, and no real map here, and no real map there. That's not terrible. However, apparently we had not cleared out this section. Which that's just bad programming. Like, these guys should have been killed just automatically. Like, there's too high of a chance of somebody being fairly like weak and then walking through that door and just getting gunned down, and then there being an autosave at that point and that causing you even more frustration. Then the other guy's up there, and I don't think there's a way up there. You can see how Warner, without really prompting, has decided to just follow us.
Now that Asher's gone, there's going to be some changes around here, believe me. You just wait. We'll whip the pit back into shape.
See, I don't even know if he really has to follow me for me to escape or leave. Like, yeah, I don't know why he's really walking with me. Like, yes, he walked in here with me, but wouldn't I have figured out through my Pip-Boy map how to leave the place? Yeah, it's gonna really suck if it turns out I actually have to baby this guy the whole way. Because remember, this whole bridge is just covered in not only junk, but um, mines. And here we have a whole bunch of pit slaves that I stole the clothes off of. What would be crazy is if the Brotherhood of Steel, particularly with Lions, or if some other Brotherhood of Steel division from the West Coast decided to swoop in at the end here and take over again because they were backing Asher in some way for some reason. It doesn't really seem like that's the case. It seems like they didn't know that he was still alive and they just left him. And then Asher, left alone, went rogue and decided to turn the pit into a project to build a city, which Asher Warner here is not really learning that lesson either. Like, just leave. Just what we should be doing right now is that Warner should be saying, let's clear the way so everybody can leave the pit. And then we should start to see that this is like the only mole rat we see in the entire level. We should see that people leave the pit and start to flood. They start to flood the oops. Just barely in time. Although it didn't really hurt him that much. Yeah, the Trogs should start to like overrun the entire city. Because I really don't see a reason why they wouldn't overrun the entire city. They should show up in the main area, the capital wasteland, and we would just start seeing them more often as wandering around. This kind of highlights where these DLCs, because they can't be integrated really into the rest of the game area and the rest of the map, that this really should have just been either its own standalone game experience or just left on the cutting room floor for the next game, Fallout 4. Whatever Fallout 4 was going to look like when Fallout 3 was being made and the DLC for Fallout 3 was being made. Yeah, in retrospect, I'm sure Bethesda would have probably done way, way better to take the 5 bits of DLC here, or the 4 bits of DLC that really don't rely on being at the capital wasteland, and releasing it as a annual standalone expansion thing, which that's the way games used to be. You would have a CD-ROM and episode like 1 of, I don't know if Doom was particularly this way, but like you'd get episode 1 of Doom and then maybe a year later you'd get episode 2 of Doom and episode 3 a year later, because there wasn't this whole download capability that we now have with the internet. So any expansion had to be, wow, look at that. Like any expansion whatsoever had to be its own disc or CD-ROM. There's nobody here. So I don't know why he's aggroed.
Hey, take a load off. What's on your mind? I got folks working. Medea's the worst. You'd think an old slave like... Don't you worry about a thing. I've got everything under control.
So either I'm supposed to nudge this guy, or he is just programmed not to go any further past this gate. I wouldn't be surprised if this Warner is actually kind of a copy of... Yeah, he's not breaking out of the stance. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a copy of the other Warner in the other location, and when he hits these locations, he is specifically programmed to just be aggressive and aggroed. But it's not like we would see trogs over here. We would only see the slave people, slavers, Pitt raiders. For being called the Pit, there is not enough emphasis on the Pit. That really should have been its own mini game. Travel to the capital wasteland we go. Of course, we've lost our companion now, and so I have no idea where he would be. Yeah. I don't believe there's any new location. There really wouldn't be a reason why there would be a new location. Vault 108, maybe? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Let's just go to Megaton. First and foremost, we can make some easy decisions in Megaton to clear out our inventory. We're still getting these holy water pamphlets, so I should probably go check on that also. Alright. Weapons. We put this away. Put this away. This away. Metal blaster I may be keeping. Let's see. Chinese assault rifle as a backup. We'll take one of those. Take the frag grenades. You know what? We'll just put all of those in the inventory. Probably could sell a heavy incinerator. This is another case also where a single problem could have been easily solved by me just throwing a bunch of caps at it. Like, I could have paid for the freedom and bought all the slaves if I so wanted to. That's my rifles. Sell some of those. The kneecapper as a shotgun is maybe the only other thing we would consider. This metal blaster actually is pretty great. So my only hope is that we could keep that repaired. Right now, apparel. So we can consider this all getting rid of a lot of things that it won't be wearing. At this point, Ranger battle armor probably is not what we want to wear, even though it would save us some weight. I just don't think we can stick with that. Action points plus 15 would be nice, but yeah. Sneak plus 2 plus 1 agility versus just 4 damage resistance. I think Asher's power armor might be better if we could repair it. So then it really just comes down to, do we want plus 1 agility? Probably do. Alright. So damage resistance of maybe 50 or 35 compared to something like the Hellfire. Let's get rid of that one. You have a 40 here for Brotherhood power armor. Let's get rid of that one. Hellfire armor looks like it might be. Yeah, one Hellfire armor here is like 50, so there really is an argument around just holding on to these. Enclave officer hats, we can get rid of some of these. They don't want to come around that often. Enclave power armor. Enclave power helmet. Yeah, if I was to wear the hat of the people, though, that wouldn't really do anything for me, would it? Outcast power armor. Outcast power helmet. Just standard power armor. This is a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff here that I'm gonna have to struggle with trying to repair. And then I'm gonna end up just selling a bunch of this, I think, also. It sure does feel like there should just be a goal to collect like one of the Vault 101 things, and then that would be it. Okay. So now we just are gonna have to hope like this outcast power armor means we could probably take this and this and this. That gets that up to 36. Asher's power armor versus Brotherhood power armor gets that up to 30. Brotherhood power helmet versus power helmet versus outcast power helmet. We might as well repair things before we try and sell them. Enclave power armor is 40. Enclave power helmet is 9. That's 7. Okay, 35 for 40. As far as armor, I really wish we could split this down into just armor specifically. Brotherhood power helmet. It's 5. Rad resistance versus outcast power helmet. So you have 50 here for 40. That's way better. And then you have 10 for 4. I have a real hard time believing that Enclave power armor obviously is heavier and does less. So we don't want that. Gamma shield armor is heavier for less. Hmm. 35 for 40 for tribal power armor. Plus 15 action points, which probably doesn't really help you as much as it would seem like that would. So then the only real question is, if we could heal up Asher's power armor more, which we can't, would there be possibly something to that? And we'll just have to figure that out later. Alright. So we're not going to wear that one. Or take that. We're going to have to just drop everything back into this. I think that's probably the easiest way to do this. Let's just drop everything like that. And then we'll find the duplicates that we want to sell. I'll keep the Hellfire armor. I will sell the officer's hats. I'll sell the officer's uniform. Keep the power armor, the helmet. I'll get rid of one of the scientist outfits. I'll get rid of a head wrap. Get rid of one of those. The order in which these are being presented to me is weird. I thought the fully repaired ones were always at top. But now they seem to be kind of all over the place. Tesla armor. I guess if they stack, they're not a big problem, are they? And frankly, I just want to be done with this, so we'll leave that at that. Come over here. And we'll look at our aid stuff. And let's see. Nuka-Cola Quantums. Still a thing. Alright. Can we get some flour and vodka? Vodka, we have 7 of. Flour, we may not have any of. Unless flour is over here, which it may very well be. Right. So we'll go ahead and try that. Meanwhile, we'll also put away things that geomapper module for one weight we might as well just hold on to. Put away these. This special pre-war book just seemingly will never be tradable. We could rest if we wanted to, but it doesn't matter.
More people like, I want. Bless you.
Alright, let's go. Let's see, is it faster possibly to sell to the clinic than it is to go to the other character? There's definitely still this problem where
For Christ's sake,
I
you
am
don't
not
look-
walking around
planning on
just not caring one bit as far as like what other people there might be around to talk to. Alright. Think what we want to do is keep this power helmet and let's see, I can't buy anything from him, so that's
You
just going to
done?
be a really
Good.
inequitable
Yeah,
trade.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm just not really talking to this
What can I get you?
character.
Have a.
So we could buy a bunch of Nuka-Colas and a bunch of stim packs.
Enjoy. I ain't heard much, truth be told.
So yeah, we never really did anything much with this church. We never really found anything. Anybody else to talk to? And I believe there was supposed to be like a DLC scripted thing where people were fighting over the water.
What you gave us won't last more than a few days.
Hey, it isn't my call. I just take the water where the
Yeah.
Brotherhood tells me. Don't shoot the messenger, you know?
Look, they're giving the water away. What do you care whether you leave it all here or somewhere else?
I
Let's
don't really
see.
care. I mean, you'll have to take...
Can you believe those Brotherhood assholes? They won't give us enough water to last until the next shipment. We're not going to let them leave with that water, though. We need it. What are they going to do, anyway? Kill us for stealing some free water?
They looked serious to me. Is this really worth getting killed over?
Yeah. You're probably right.
Hmm.
They wouldn't think twice about murdering a lot of us, would they? We'll just have to make do until we can organize our own water caravans and get out from under the Brotherhood's thumb.
Get up with those boys.
You're not leaving here with that water. We need it. We're...
Hey there. Everything.
Let's see what this guy's selling as a water caravan person. So yeah, this was a Brotherhood of Steel DLC non-labeled conversation. I just did the good karma to convince them to not try and steal the water. The other bad thing is you could have convinced this guy to say,
What do you want?
let's see, this.
You two? Fine. They can have the damn water. What do I care if Big Town doesn't get any?
And so,
What's the
and for some reason that totally messed up. Like, so Big Town doesn't get any water otherwise.
Still got plenty of water. Look, the Brahmin is loaded.
Can you believe those Brotherhood assholes? They won't give us enough water. We're not gonna let... What are they gonna...
I have to just assume that that was
We'll just...
bad programming on Bethesda's part, that trying both things wouldn't happen, wouldn't work.
Sir Knight?
So yeah, you would leave Big Town in the lurch, and Big Town is the kids that can barely fend for themselves. Now we'll travel to Big Town just to see what's going on, but I imagine there isn't actually anything more to that quest. It really is just another example of quests being very quarter of the way finished. Like, I wouldn't even call it half finished. I would say,
Walk in Atom's holy glow.
yep. So these guys are still putting signs on the doors.
We will spread our word without this holy water. The light of Adam need not be spread through deceit.
So yeah, you still get the you still get the notes without them poisoning people, which is a little annoying, but I guess it's better than them irradiating people with water and radiation.
May the light be your beacon.
Okay, Girder Shade. Let's see if she is aggroed. This is the other guy. She may just be straight up aggroed. If she's not, if she's still aggroed here. Ooh, an albino red scorpion. Wow. You don't see too many of those. If she's still aggroed without my companion, then I assume she's just...
Relax with a cold Nuka-Cola.
Alright,
Yay,
so
you're
she's
back.
not aggroed. Great.
Oops, I need a Nuka-Cola Quantum to make the pie, sweetie. Be careful out there, sweetie.
Okay. So we need to now fast travel back. She must have just been aggroed because of my companion, which is weird because he was not irritating anyone else. Yep. How annoying it would be, certainly, to have somebody constantly putting notes on your door. Let's take all of those. Oh, I also looked up the drop rate of what you can get by giving Nuka-Colas to Zip and Little Lamplighter. It is not really anything. It's not worth it to give a Nuka-Cola to him. He'll give you just random unimportant things.
Oh, good. You came back. Sure. Just give me a second and I'll have it ready for you.
Nuka-Cola Quantum removed. We should be able to make a couple of these, and then that'll be it. And then I don't know if there's anything else she wants, whether she wants the Nuka-Cola Quantums or what she wants the Nuka-Colas. Why do we have to fade in and fade out for our cooking? But in a funny way, that's kind of an experiment.
Sure. Just
It is an experiment in animating and having somebody cook without having the objects specifically like stuck together to her hand. Notice how a wooden spoon just kind of appeared out of nowhere. Notice how she's kind of just generally stirring, assuming that the pot is there. If I were to go and drag the pot
there you go. I hope you like it.
away, I wonder.
Oops.
Here.
You do? You darling. Well, as always, I'll be glad to take them off your hands. And now that my machine is full, I can drink these to my heart's desire.
So 20 Nuka-Cola Quantums removed for 1,000 bottle caps, which that is quite a lot. And see, I am trying to pick up this
I knew you'd come back
thing,
to visit.
this pot, and move it and drag it away, but nope, no good. Can't do that. Okay. Mississippi Mud Pie, or Mississippi Quantum Pie, is +1 rad, +20 action points, -1 intelligence, +1 strength, which is a pretty big and effective item for kind of no reason. Yeah. Next thing we could check out, we were going to check out Big Town. Fast travel from this location. We'll check out Big Town. Where is it? There's Big Town. We'll just see if there is anybody delivering water to Big Town at all. Seems like the answer is probably no. And so there was that girl Lucy. I don't even know who's really in charge of Big Town, who you'd even really want to talk to. Yeah. I kind of think that, like, the doctor, Red, is probably the person you would want to talk to the most. So let's talk to Red.
Hey, you. Welcome back. Hey there.
Same line of dialogue.
Sure.
Do I really even have anything to sell that would justify buying all that stuff? Not really.
Thanks. Later.
So yeah, I'm kind of thinking that it's probably not anything new.
You came to visit. You'll never guess what I found out in the wastes when I was supposed to be patrolling.
Bittercup was the
Here.
girl
This is for you.
that had a crush on you.
Don't be a stranger.
So this is just kind of like an awkward town that doesn't really have enough reason for you to ever come back and visit it.
Good to see. I'm headed to Big Town. There's good money to be made there. They ordered a bunch of robot parts.
Let's see. Robot parts. Yeah, he's got nothing worth buying.
Nope.
And he can't really repair things.
Later.
There's a lot of danger and opportunity certainly here to get distracted again. Really the only thing I could think is either there are enemies nearby, it says. I see something dusty. Come on. We have a random sentry bot. Okay. I don't know why I would think he would be at Vault 108. Just seems kind of silly for our companion to be there. If anything, he would be at Vault 87. We just fast traveled into a whole fight. Yeah. It is highly unlikely, though, that I'd be able to make it to Vault 87. Even with like taking one rat away, which is about all you can take because they don't stack, and had additional radiation resistance, and war radiation suits, I still feel like to actually reach that location you probably would have to cheat. Unless the radiation is gone now that we've moved the main story forward. Which that would be interesting, certainly. Is if all of a sudden this area is not irradiated at all. We'll want to see. We'll want to get rid of these guys first. And I assume the strategy here is to at least get one shot off at every enemy in case you get the mysterious stranger. That way you can direct the mysterious stranger towards helping out. Yeah. And we can get super mutant blood samples. Alright. And I don't know where that guy died. So far, so good. Not seeing any radiation. Alright. So, let's do this right. We'll start by putting our health up to the max. We'll take Rad away to the max. We'll take a Rad X, which should have us at a radiation resistance. Like, our Enclave armor should give us another radiation resistance, so we're at 85%. If you would have any chance of this, you would... This would be it. Alright. Safety save. And run. 1 resistance, 1 rad, 1 rad, 1 rad, 1 rad, 1 rad, 1 rad. 15 rads, 30 rads, 46 rads, 75 rads. Alright. Here we go. Rad away, rad away, rad away, rad away, rad away. Go this way. Nope, 255 rads. Rad away, rad away, rad away. 270 rads. Rad away. Rad away, rad away. 476 rads. Like, there's just nothing that's close enough. Like, you just cannot get anywhere close to it. Alright. Like, and you don't have enough time to, like, freeze or look. Like, it should be right in front of you. And yet, I just don't think there's anything there. Okay. So either he is in Vault 87 waiting for me, our companion, which we're probably just not going to find him, or he might be with that other guy, but I just don't know where he would be. He might be at Vault 101. That is a thought, certainly. There was this whole other area at Vault 87 I did want to check out. Let's see if we can pull this off. It feels like it would make a lot more sense for the game to simply put all your companions back back at your house. Wow, the game is hitching up there.
Hey.
I installed a new version of OBS, and they did talk about there being potential hitching issues for a small percentage of people, but yeah. I don't know if that's what that was or what, but I have noticed a couple of weird things, on a computer that before the RAM went bad on it and I had to ship it out, was not really showing any kind of weird things ever. These are nice. Were these always here? It's just such a long distance to have to travel. Didn't know that was there. feel like the lighting in this place is way better now than it has been in the past. There is this issue of like visual texture caching. I'm gonna have to use the map. Where it should be somewhere around here. Textures are like cached as a file, and then that file sometimes does it poorly, and then kind of just going forward from that point, the visuals always look worse than they should, or even get progressively worse over time. I've seen that with the Lego games in particular, and eventually I found out that it kind of had more to do with some Windows optimization more than anything else. Was this creepy thing here the whole time? Alright. See if I can put the neck pillow on while wandering around. Okay, living quarters, great chamber. Remember, we got kidnapped out of this whole area. And in being kidnapped out of this whole area, we didn't have to run back through this whole maze, which really is a very big section. Right. What is the easiest way to get to the test chamber? We have to go up. So we need to find the stairs. Which, yep, this goes up. Then this goes over. Then I believe if we head this direction. If this doesn't either find our companion, which I suspect it won't, because why would he go back to the place he was imprisoned? And even if he did, why is he not at the shorter end of that, instead of making us potentially run through the entire map again? I think we can safely just reload the safety save. Yeah. So it's the whole test chamber. You'd think that the Brotherhood of Steel would have moved in here and started cleaning things up a little bit, taking things over, but I guess they just haven't gotten to that point. See, that's where he was. Now it's this door that was locked before. So unless there's some kind of operation, some kind of DLC that works with the outcasts that is keeping this door locked. Door requires key, open door requires key. Yeah. We still don't know what's behind this door, if there is actually much behind this door. What is behind that door may very well just have been the Enclave. So, yeah. It's not worth it to do that. And yeah, if there was a run button, Just go, 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 go. Let's see. Another rat X. Another rat away. Yep. Unless there was maybe a way to walk around. That's the only other thing I think you could possibly do here is you could try and stay. Yeah. Alright, nearly dead. Okay. So it does seem like you probably... It does seem like you could probably walk around this edge and just stay within the one rads. That being said, you have to be particularly careful about it. Like every single circular area here does seem to imply that it would be dangerous. These albino rad scorpions are appearing quite often. See, this path here is clear of radiation. Well, on the other side of this sign, clearly somebody put up these signs at some point. And that would have had to have been before the war. Or before society collapsed. I really am just kind of goofing around. So it's my assumption is it's somewhere kind of here. And then you kind of have this wall that make it very difficult to reach there. All indication is it's just there. we will make another safety save. We'll see if we can maybe let's see. The point here definitely is going to come down to if we even make it. It's going to be very, very close. And then we're going to have to... We were almost there. We were almost there. There is an actual door. It's just going to be a matter of getting to it quickly. There's literally a radiation suited person there. But you just can't get to it quick enough. Unless there was something that had like 100% radiation resistance. Alright. Like. Yeah, I can't even search the scientist in time to get to it. And I don't know if there really is a door there or not. But I think that is probably as much goofing around that as is necessary. What's not happening is we're not discovering Vault 87 even at that point. So it must be further down through the door. And yeah, I guess if this was a different game and you could potentially just play as a super mutant, might be something to that. I'm hearing a dog. So this is a dog meat puppy that we can now just fast travel to Megaton and leave. Although I guess it won't really matter because he'll just go back to being that. Which I assume that means that the original dog meat probably died in some random fight. Get out of the way. Alright, you know what? Just... Alright, so we'll just tell him to stay. So if he's at Vault 101... Right, find and enter the Outcast base. It would be the next DLC's story, and there's just no real reason to try and waste time and look for wherever our super mutant guy is. He's somewhere, I would assume, but I couldn't tell you where. This is the Outcast outpost. Bailey's Cross Metro. I think we've already been there, so we'll just fast travel here. probably been in there. Let's see. No, I think we want to be at the Outcast outpost. Yeah. This was the Outcast DLC where there's this elevator and we didn't go down the elevator. Maybe we'll finally figure out what these radios are all about. This is also the first time we've ever seen an elevator, and they don't even have a
Stay sharp. Don't open fire without my order.
so they're surprised. Let's talk to them.
Who the hell are you? And what do you think you're doing?
Little sweetie, I'm kind of lost. Can you talk to whoever's in charge? Whoop, this isn't the vault. Silly me, must have made a wrong turn. Nice place you've got here. Let's go with the Black Widow.
Sure thing, miss. I'll take you to protect the McGraw right now.
So it's kind of funny that we found this Outcast post, and they don't really seem to have any connection to the other outcasts that we've already met with.
Keep your distance, mutt. No knowing what you've got breeding on you.
There is this weird situation though where I imagine the Outcast's armor is only going to be maybe slightly better, if not exactly on the same level as the Brotherhood armor and weapons, which means the Enclave Hellfire equipment is still going to be way better. And I guess if we wandered around, they might get mad at me.
Here she is, Protector. Like you asked.
Thank you, Defender. Give us a moment, please.
Sir,
They have
I'm going to say again that I don't like this idea.
slightly different names for people.
Yes,
It's
sir.
less
Look, Wastelander, I'm not sure what brings
sword
you here, but
and
we don't
shield
like surprise visits
stuff.
from the local populace. You're lucky you weren't killed. But maybe there's more to you than the average rubble dweller.
Kind of feels more like
That
a
computer there on
cowboy
your wrist.
mentality.
Maybe you can be useful to us after all.
So my Pip-Boy makes me unique and you need my help because of that. I have something you want. Let's cut to the chase. Let's go with the intelligence one.
So you do have half a brain. That's good. I'll keep it simple. I need you and I need that computer of yours. You help me out, and I'll do what I can to help you. This isn't an offer the Outcasts extend to anyone, so you really should think carefully about it.
Okay, what do you want me to do? Again, these DLCs will probably give us 3 or 4 quests, and that's it.
Records indicate there's some high-value tech in this base, but we can't get to it. The armory is sealed by a blast door, and we can't get it open. We're pretty sure anyone who completes the facility's VR simulation program will gain access, but it requires a certain interface. Unfortunately, we don't have one. You do, right there on your wrist. I need you to go into the simulator and complete that program, which will unlock the armory. You'll get a share of the gear, of course.
So it's a computer game.
It's the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska from Chinese communists. It was a pretty significant event in American history, according to our scribe. I won't lie to you. It's heavy combat, safety protocols disengaged. That means you die in the sim, your body goes into massive cardiac arrest. You're still listening, so I'm going to assume you're interested. But time's wasting. Sibley can take you to the pod. Olin will get you briefed. If you want to walk away, you're free to leave. My men won't stop you.
Oh, great. Just what we need.
So the entire DLC is basically a simulation of something that I guess happened before in the past. That's my guess, is how we're supposed to take this, that the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska did happen, which means Liberty Prime's goal to liberate Anchorage, Alaska had already been completed, which means that that he was probably built before this was built. So once again, we're being put in a pod, a different looking pod, more looks like a egg.
Knock, knock, Olin. Got a new best friend for you.
What?
Yep. Let's hope you treat this one better than the last guy, huh?
Go to hell, Sibley.
A lot of computer wires.
Sure, whatever. Just make some progress, okay?
These outcasts don't sound
Fine.
particularly as noble as the Brotherhood of Steel. So once again, we're just going to be in a completely different area. It may once again start us up at no items and no inventory, and while we're in the simulation, we very possibly are not going to actually be able to pick up any items.
You're here to help? Fine, then put this on. Get in the chair, and we'll run the simulation. Look, if you're going to help out, then that's great. Just don't get in my way.
Let's see.
The same thing we always do. Recover technology and preserve it, making sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. McGraw's hope is that whatever's in here will give us a big advantage. I'm not convinced, but I'm on his side.
Alright. So, what did he give me? Or she give me? Power armor, helmet, neural interface suit. And we may just not have any of our weapons or anything. They made this whole custom suit. Meanwhile, we could open the door. Easily would people be upset if I opened the door if they saw. And then this door requires a key. And you can't do anything here. Then here you have a very different design. Kind of oddly different. It's a little wider in the paint than anything else, and honestly this probably would have been nice if we did have more areas that were just painted white instead of that horrific tones of brown. I guess we'll just make a safety save and we'll see. You have a Gary 23. Why is there a Gary in the medical facility? Interesting. I wonder if the outcasts are actually cloning or experimenting with cloning technology. See, if that's supposed to be like a big reveal and show something, it really doesn't.
Oh, great. Just what we need.
Sit in the chair and with our Pit Boy, which Pit Boys seem like they're really hard to get. This definitely looks like a very different type of simulation and screen compared to the rest of the game.
Hey, wake up. Come on. Snap out of it.
Which, if anything, this just highlights that it is yet another different company, different group of people that made this game.
I thought you were gone. I hope the other guys made it. I don't think their patrol spotted us coming in. So at least we still have the jump on. You still have your gear. So I'm gonna let you make the call. You can go in quiet, with guns blazing. We'll still meet at the rendezvous point inside as planned. Then we'll blow those artillery guns to hell. Just watch yourself. The Reds up here don't take prisoners. Good luck.
So he just leaves us. Here we have a parachute. So we have just parachuted in. And let's see. We have a trench knife and a silenced gun. We have winterized combat armor and winterized combat helmet, which is not terrible. As far as our weight, we're great. We have 1 stealth boy, 50 bobby pins, a bunch of explosive charges. Everything else seems to be kind of just random things. So yeah, we got stripped of everything. Sounds like he's fighting somebody already. And so this is supposed to be Anchorage, Alaska. Snowy, windy. We've discovered the cliffs. As far as the world map is concerned, let's investigate what this is going to be. It is a small area. Like, it is a small sectioned off area. Then we have what looks like something glowing. Let's see. Health dispenser. Oh, so they are straight up just playing video game style simulations here. These boxes don't seem like crates. Unfortunately, I kind of should have pickpocketed that guy. Well, I will say, even using most of the same assets, this does already kind of feel more like a video game than Fallout 3, which the main game does have this problem of being so not scripted, just random, where you'll run into a rad scorpion or something just because it happens to be there. Come on. Once again, lost him. Alright, so much for the quiet approach. This definitely has the vibes of GoldenEye. One thing we should double check here just to make sure all of our stats are still the same. Yeah. Pitt fighter. I don't know what that other perk was that we got it. Let's see. It said we got this perk for doing the Pitt DLC, but I don't see a medical. It's booster shot. Radiation resistance was improved by 10%. So I guess maybe if I could find some way to get my radiation resistance up to 100%, maybe I could get to Vault 87. But I highly question that. I also suspect what's going on here is that these Chinese soldiers being just simulated may just dissolve and disappear when you kill them, not leaving a body to search, which again, that would be very video gamey, very nice. Let's see. Yep. Search. They can still devour people, but yep, they just despawn. Alright. There's somebody that is like lower down somehow. So now we have a sniper rifle. Now we have a frag mine. We can restore our health. Honestly, if they knew this much as far as intel, well, I guess you could probably get this much intel post-mortem after the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska, too, after the fact. The glowing red does not refill. Do we see anybody else? No. It definitely doesn't feel like you get much of a choice here, though. You're going to want to probably be fairly cautious with the bullets. Take note also, you have like green plates, things that you could definitely have picked up and dragged around in the main game, and they've just completely eliminated that as a possibility, and that is, I think, much for the better. Let's see. Shoot him in the leg. We do so much damage anyways. It doesn't matter. Ammo dispensers. Now. Great. Now that we know ammo dispensers exist, here you have even like new artwork. So yeah, this is kind of like a great experiment on just like what would this really look like if Bethesda just made something like GoldenEye, just a first-person shooter with ammo dispensers and health dispensers and tied things down and had more of a scripted experience. I don't know which way I'm supposed to go. Whether I was supposed to go up there. 'Cause that kind of looks like that's the secret extra place. Is up here. And there's another stealth boy. I've never really used the stealth boy to any real avail, and I don't really have any desire to try to use a stealth boy now. I'm so overpowered, there's no need for it. You really would have had to have made me use the stealth boy at the very beginning of the game when we're trying to escape. But stealth as a concept, even in this, still, I feel like fails. Fails to be entertaining. Let's go ahead and just switch to the sniper rifle so we have an actual chance of hitting the person. Just bloody mess. Perk really taking it to task, like making it ridiculous and gory. In a funny way, this is proving everything I suspected, though. That at the core of it, if you had taken more systems out of Fallout 3 and just made it a more traditional game, you would have gotten rid of all the bad elements that we see in Fallout 3. All the grind, all the ridiculous nonsense, all the repetitive garbage. I guess we're about to enter our first area, so there's several levels here. And I guess because you have because you have a maximum number of bullets, that means you probably can just never be over full of bullets. So the game is, and that's what you would have in any other like standard just first person shooters. You would have somebody a maximum number of bullets you can pick up, so somebody can't have 6,000 bullets. They're too busy looking behind them. These frag mines, though, will never probably be useful. And guns. Getting these little glowing sound effects, which I don't think are necessary, but the red glowing highlight is something that I've been complaining about this game needing for probably 50 hours plus. Yes, I don't think that red glowing highlight is the greatest. Red is a little weird there, but there's something to that. I don't know if they just shot my companion character or who they shot at otherwise. It seems like they're implying that this is a two-man operation and that we then immediately split up. Still really no explanation as to why these halogen lights and generators seem to just not connect with any of the other visuals of the technology of the time. Right. I assume that's just a big cave opening. You're not supposed to jump down there. Even if this was a case where they're trying to make the simulation be a counter-argument of this is why Fallout 3 would be just like every other first-person shooter if it was made this way, and this is why Fallout 3 is better because it's not made that way. They're not doing a good job at that. Sure, red highlight maybe is a little too extreme, or characters despawning and showing a digitalization effect as they're despawning is a little bit over the top. But yeah, this definitely feels not too off from the Wolfenstein reboot. You have even scripted events here.
God damn, this place is swarming with Reds. I almost didn't make it.
They still have the problem of the lighting being problems on the face of characters. And then we get 3 options here. Well, you could be nice, you could be a jerk, or you could be neutral.
Yeah, I almost bought it out on the cliffs. Didn't know the Reds were so handy with a sniper rifle. So, what's the situation? We clear to blow the hell out of this place?
Yep.
I got your 6.
So I guess he's just going to be our companion.
Whoa. Watch your step near those ledges. That is a hell of a long fall.
We're getting lines of dialogue, which is fine.
Eyes on. Come on, you red bastards.
It would be funny if you can't actually get the mysterious stranger effect, because if you're in this simulation, I think at this point too, it's probably not worth it. 108 damage gauze rifle. Let's not use that. Chinese assault rifle versus 8 here. None of these guns are so needed. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the silenced 10mm because yeah, it's not like these guys are not dying. Maybe this has something more to do with me playing it on easy, and maybe the game in this DLC is really taking advantage of the fact that I'm on easy mode.
Here I thought I was the one with the death wish.
Let's see. Yeah, let's go check and see what's over here. Although I'd find it kind of funny. I still can't do anything with these ham radios. So there was nothing over here other than a person and a health dispenser. There's no weapons. Pipe doesn't go any further this way. And once again makes it feel a little unfinished. Don't think there's more this direction. Like, yes, I could go this way, but yeah, these guys are dying in like 3 shots. So I guess at that point, if I do the math, 8, 16, 24 probably means I should just switch over to a Chinese assault rifle.
If I live just one more day without seeing another cat, I'll die a happy man. Here's a little
That's a funny line of dialogue, but it's a little bit early. Now, I don't know how you would be able to integrate this general idea of mountains and catwalks into a lot of locations in the Capital Wasteland. because the Capital Wasteland, for its need for random spawns and random encounters, has to be this more level world. Interesting, just a light shooting straight up. That feels glitchy. But you could have a little bit of this, certainly. You could have had...
Benji's got something for you. I'm on this one.
Right, field storage. Very easy, we can just force.
Got a present for you, commie.
Where are we now?
All targets eliminated.
Holotape, goodbye. And activate intel. You've found 1 of 10 pieces of intelligence. Keep up the good work, soldier. Alright, so there's 10 collectibles in the game instead of 100 steel ingots. Let's read. Let's listen to this holotape.
Molly, I hope this tape gets to you. Some way, somehow. I don't have a lot of time, but you need to know what happened to me. The early reports weren't bullshit. The Chinese are here. As in, they're invading Anchorage in force, right now. This is the real deal. It makes Pearl Harbor look like an Academy exercise. I've never seen so many goddamn warships. Sergeant Lowry has ordered the platoon to assemble in the mess in 15 minutes. The plan is to dig in on the cliffs and slow the Chinese advance until the civilian contractors can evacuate. And then we hold the line for as long as we can. I talked to Durney, Cielo, and Dallas, and we all agreed surrender is not an option. I never told you, but that night in Cleveland, on the Ferris wheel, that was when I fell in love with you. Goodbye, Molly. I'm sorry. This is Private First Class Henry Hodges, signing out.
Interesting how the timer went to 0 while the audio was still playing. What's interesting about that dialogue too is there's a lot of cussing in it, and they're just kind of talking in a more normal style compared to like 2,277 Fallout timelines. So the story does kind of feel weirdly like the real world or the timeline doesn't go back to that 1940s nostalgia diesel punk style until somewhere around 2077. And at that point, everything gets... people start acting oddly... oddly like they were living in the 1940s. Which... that doesn't really make sense. Like... sure, people can have nostalgia for like the 1970s, 1980s, or they could even have more of a nostalgia for the 1940s. But the odds that they would embrace every single aspect of that and so thoroughly embrace it is unlikely. Right. So this map is weirdly taking us in a lot of different places. Is this cave passage where we came in? I don't think so. I think this is a different cave passage. So yeah, you could definitely have had caves. And with caves, you could have had You could have had more of these high output locations. Or higher locations.
Plenty more where this came from.
Alright. If we don't have stems, that certainly opens up a whole nother thing where we could at any point like, you could at any point just take enough damage and not have that opportunity to undo that damage. Chinese Inferno unit. And you can't search them fast enough. And since we're not getting any XP anyways, would be beneficial just to turn that off. Where are we on the map? Local map versus world map. We are here. Feel like we maybe could have come a different direction, and so we should just go and investigate this different direction. Yeah, it seems like we took a cave passage. Toward the cave passage. Yeah, so this is where we were. So it is a very small split. Unless there was something we just totally missed here. Which is believable. It's fairly believable that there would be some kind of bit of intel or something. And on a modern PC, there's no delay loading in and out of these locations. These are incredibly small locations, so I could see this being an experiment on just instant load scenarios. See if shooting the Chinese flag does anything. I guess there's an interesting question about, does the style of this flag inform anything? Yeah, not really. I don't have enough knowledge about potential different Chinese flags that may or may not have existed, or that may exist in a fictional future. Now that is still load, so you can't get around that. 1, 2, 3. What's funny is it has you sometimes reload in different orders. A whole bunch of stuff that is just stuck to the ground, no physics to it. And unless you were looking for that, unless you had just spent 100 hours, oddly, playing Fallout 3 and knowing that you could knock things and shoot cups and that they would potentially bounce off the floor, off the table and on the floor. Like, you wouldn't be expecting any of that. And what I am expecting here is some better sound effects. It just kind of feels like we're hearing some awkward shifting and settling of the mountain, or some bombardment of the mountain, and probably could use some more dialogue or some music. Finding another Chinese assault rifle just is going to add rounds, which I'm a little surprised it even does that. There's nothing here. I suspect I might be able to talk to our companion at any point and get some more bullets if we needed it as a backup. Alright. I think that is probably the way forward. So let's take this. I guess the question here would be, maybe if I pick up all these bullets, that will then equal one more bullet handed to you when you open up the vault. But I also wouldn't be surprised if you open up the bunker vault, and not like a Vault 101 vault, but just a cache of weapons. I wouldn't be surprised if you open it up and there's just some kind of robot or something in there. Something fairly unexpected. Do I have a rocket launcher? The best thing I could do here is try to... Yeah, I think that's probably scripted stuff, and I probably just wasted a lot of stuff. If I was going to do anything, I would pull a pin and throw and see if that did anything, and that can't reach that distance either. That lit area might indicate something, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't.
See him down there? That's it, damn Chimera tanks. Don't worry, they're well out of range.
So Chimera tanks, maybe they'll be kind of like a boss.
Get out of my country.
Yeah, maybe they'll be the big, like, behemoth, super mutant behemoth equivalents, boss things that we're gonna have to find some way to fight. Shooting the yellow barrels does not cause them to explode. This is just a gate to block off half the side, I guess. We have to be a little careful here, though. I don't want to completely run out of bullets. Although I don't know if I really want to try and pick up every single one of these weapons. It sure feels like we should have found the missile launcher at this point if we are finding missiles. So this is a very easy, so love, look, like feels like there should be some way you could brute force a hack without actually having to try. And wow. How many times have we seen these closets and not had to run into that speed bump of searching every toolbox, every desk, every shelf for an item? And look at this as an alternative. Just you walk in here, you quickly learn, oh, well, the important things are the things on the desk here, this Intel and this computer, and that's it. And we can just move on with our lives. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read. 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 What's interesting is this is instead of just having all the text always take up a full screen and then giving you maybe a sentence or two in the next screen, they're keeping things a little bit more spread out, and I appreciate that. Pause now if you want to read. Pause now if you want to read. Also, by keeping everything to 1 or 2 sentences, it's making potentially even somebody like me who's not reading have a higher chance of just subconsciously grasping that they're talking about something of importance. Although I still didn't read it, so I still have no idea. Here I can just shoot at the guy behind. There is some things I would change here, but in hindsight, you would always make some twists. I'd get rid of the glowing sound effects. I would still have stim packs be a pickup item. I feel like stim packs are too iconic they're too iconic for the Fallout series to not be included. Although stim packs plus health stations, if you had both, wouldn't be awful. Or automatically healing when you pick up a stim pack, and automatically picking up stim packs and other things when you walk nearby them are very modern things that you would add to this game.
Looks like the commies are getting low on ammo for the big guns. Maybe we do.
These don't explode. And seemingly we're not doing anything with them. So if China did conquer Alaska, I mean, it would have to be just for like ballistic missiles, bombardment of other parts of the United States or Canada. I would say, like, you're not going to march across Alaskan ice to well, I would assume you wouldn't march across Alaskan ice to try and do a ground invasion, land invasion of Canada or the United States. And this really is a poor statement as to whatever the United States Commonwealth's Navy abilities were, that they would allow Alaska to be invaded, or even the Air Force. It kind of does feel like this base is just constantly getting bombarded, maybe by the United States, as a distraction. Yeah, we've got another note, holotape.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I can't do this. I'm so afraid, Molly. I don't want to die. Oh my God, I don't want to die. We held them as long as we could. I swear we did. Then Cielo asked for a magazine, and when I turned to give it to him, a shell hit, and he's gone, Molly. He was there 1 second, and then he wasn't. His blood and bits of him. Oh my God, he's all over me. Please, 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 let them leave. Let them leave. Let them leave. I just want to come home. I just want to be with you again. I'm hiding now. The Chinese are everywhere. I'm a coward. I'm a coward, I know, but I don't care. If they find me, I'm surrendering.
So that sounds like the same guy. Maybe not. And seems like they're trying to give you a kind of narrative there. How many quests have we done? 41. Wow. Still incredibly small amounts compared to what you would expect. And I don't know why you would even need 50 bobby pins at this point. I guess if you did this DLC very early and were really struggling to lockpick, 50 bobby pins would be helpful. Alright, world map. We are here, and we're going to make our way to this area, and then we're going to get some other quest at some point, I think, to do the rest of this. And I assume from the artillery outlook there's just a fast travel to this other location. I wouldn't be surprised if you just go through a teleport or a portal, video game style, to end up in these other locations. But it does seem like there would be more of a game to that. We've found 2 of the 10 intelligence things, which I assume that means there's only 10 collectible things, and that would be some achievement outside of the Game of the Year version on Steam, which doesn't have achievements. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Game of the Year edition on even Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't bother to convert those over to achievements either. Anyways, we've been doing the 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm starting to get that crick in my neck again, so now is the time. As soon as I start to feel the pain in my neck, I should stop recording or think about stopping recording. So that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.